What's up, everybody? So another one of the movies on my list for the most anticipated horror movies of 2022 has just come out. I just watched it, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Was it good or not? Let's find out. So it's 2022 and our favorite butcher is back. Not that one. Our favorite butcher, the one that wears faces, Leatherface, is back. And in short, he is absolutely savage. I love this movie from a savagery perspective, from a horror perspective. I've seen a lot of people say they weren't a big fan of this movie. We need to remember what it is what we're looking for in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, okay? Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, you're not gonna get a deep story from it. You remember the original one? Kids driving across country, they got a wrong turn essentially, and ended up at the mercy of of Leatherface and his family. So there wasn't a lot of depth. There wasn't a lot of character development. More of the character work was on the side of the villains than it was the actual protagonist. So if you expect deep storytelling and deep characters in this, you haven't watched all the movies leading up to it, okay? What works for Texas Chainsaw Massacre is Leatherface. I think he's very underrated as a slasher villain, and here's why. Because he actually runs. He can get hurt. He doesn't come across as this unkillable monster. He's just a brute, and absolutely, I said previously, absolutely savage. That is the best way to describe Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Leatherface as a whole. So the movie starts out with a pair with some young adults going over to the town of Harlow. They want to tear it down and rebuild to bring new business to the town. And when they go into one of the buildings, there's still a woman that's there. They say she shouldn't be there, and the banks already bought the house. So she had an oxygen tank with her. So they ended up like getting her agitated. She has a heart attack, and they take her away in the cop car. Leatherface grabbed her, picks her up, puts her in the cop car, and he's riding alongside the cops and one of the other characters to get her to a hospital. Now, in that process, she dies. So that completely sparks Leatherface. That was the person that was keeping his viciousness at bay. So after this happens, all carnage breaks loose, and Leatherface is at his wild best. Now, I will say, in the same vein that Halloween Kills was a showcase of Michael Myers, this was a showcase of Leatherface. This was one of the very first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that didn't have any other, I won't say one of the first, but it didn't have any other family involved. One of my big things that I loved about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies is wherever you went, you were running into somebody that was meaning to do you harm. If you look at the original, you look at the remake, the family had the whole area. So you could run to this space here, run in the arms of somebody thinking that you're safe, and you're not. In this case, it was just Leatherface, but he's more than enough. And some of the kills in this, the very first kill is one of the most inventive kills that I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. There are some people that have said that was the only good kill. I disagree. Whenever you have a brute like Leatherface with a chainsaw and any other implements, I mean, the forcefulness and brutality of which he kills is more important than how we actually kill somebody. Let's be honest, we're horror fans. We've seen a lot of horror movies. There's very few new ways to kill somebody that we haven't already seen. So I thought it was very good. Now, the character development, like I said previously, wasn't really there. The two main girls, they had great story. They had great story arcs. And you were invested on them. There was also a Texan. I feel like he could have been more had he had more screen time, because your first interaction with him seemed like he was it was not who he really was. And then the more you get to know him, he's not a bad guy, and I think they could have done more with his character had he survived to see more of the movie. Obviously, spoiler alert here, but when you watch a Leatherface in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, you're really watching it for the brutality of Leatherface. And the bus scene that you guys all saw in the preview, that was awesome. I thought it was great to show the carnage. It did have a similar feel, somewhat, to the mob scene for Michael in Halloween Kills, somewhat, but only loosely based because it was so many people, different setups, different stories, different everything. But if I had to talk about something that bothers me the most about this movie, it was what I said in my trailer reaction. Sally Hardesty, okay? 50 years from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you would never really know it. There wasn't enough for me to show her trauma, or to show that she was prepared, or to show anything. We got a perfect version of seeing that in Halloween 2018. And I understand that there's a difference in Sally Hardesty and Laurie Strode. Sally Hardesty only had one movie to show, to like learn her, whereas Laurie Strode had more than that. Even though 2018 erased the other sequels, we can't unsee what we saw. So I get that, but I felt like she didn't add anything to the movie. The end scene, I guess, was a little bit more powerful and more impactful because she was there. But even Leatherface was like, who are you? You know what I mean? So it wasn't really, it could have been, they could have left her out, and I think it still would have been just as effective. I can't think of her addition being this groundbreaking thing that needed to make the movie work. Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is one of those movies that you sit back and you just watch it for entertainment. Don't overanalyze it. Don't overthink it. Don't look for some deeper meaning. It's right in front of you. It's presented, or it executed as presented, right? You're going to see a guy with a chainsaw killing people. That's all. That's all. If that's your thing, you're going to love it. If it's not your thing, you won't like it. If you didn't like any other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, you probably won't like this one. If you like the series, this one's for you, because this is the maximum savagery that we've seen so far out of Leatherface. And Netflix didn't hold back on the violence, didn't hold back on the blood and the gore, and went full throttle into enjoying and put an exclamation point on what we love about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, in short, I liked this movie a lot. I gave it a 7 because, again, some of the characters, obviously, I'm gonna have to, for review purposes, scrutinize a little bit more. Some of the characters were a little bit, flaky, didn't really be needed, and Sally Hardesty was kind of definitely underdeveloped, and I don't think she was necessarily needed to further this along. The good thing about it, like I said earlier, the kills were good. Some of the tension, some of the scenes that showed the tension, and this came from a person that did the Don't Breathe movies 1 and 2, and Don't Breathe is known for its tension getting scenes and tension building scenes, and you can see that in this. I really enjoyed it. Anyways, what did you guys think? Did you like it? Was I on point with what I'm saying? Did I miss the mark? Let me know in the comments. Again, this is the Glad's Horror Channel, the best horror channel here on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time.